Hello. How are you all? So we've got tree trimming going on behind us, so hopefully that's not going to be distracting. And so I don't know if you're going to hear that. I don't know that that'll have an effect on anything other than sound. So hopefully that's not too crazy. Mona, good morning. Donna, good morning. Lynn, hello. Good morning. Carol, good morning. Cindy and Sharon. Hi. All right. So let me know if you can hear that tree trimming. It's been going on all morning and I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be done by 11, but no such luck. So hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys. And anything you want to share with me before I go back there, I'd like to hear any questions you may have. Good morning, Stevie. So if anybody would like to ask any questions or tell me anything, let me know. Okay. All right. Well, maybe we're going to be okay. All right. So let's get going. I'm going to go back to my post. Okay. So for today's practice, I would like to incorporate the chair in the practice today. And sometimes I like to do things in threes because it's really easy to do and an easy way to remember things or an easy way to show up. And because the recommendation of doing 30 minutes a day of exercise, that's the recommendation to stay strong and healthy, is 30 minutes a day. And it's not always easy to find that big chunk of time. It is easier to find 3-minute sections, like maybe 10 3-minute sections or 3 10-minute sections or something like that throughout your day. And so I'm going to do my 3 posture series today, a couple of them, and I think you'll like some of them. And I would like to use a chair. So I want to begin with a chair because this kind of gets me all set up for everything that I'm going to need for the practice. And that's how I'd like to begin. So make sure that you get a chair for today's practice. You definitely need 1 blanket. You may need 2. And it is really nice if you put your legs up the chair, sometimes to have an elevation underneath the pelvis. And I'm 5'5", yet I find that it feels really nice to have something underneath my tushy or something underneath or something on top of the chair, especially if the chair is hard or cold, which an aluminum chair is, right? This is an aluminum chair that my daughter painted in an art class at school. And it's become like quite handy for me and I love it actually. So this is aluminum. It's a little hard. So I'm actually going to put that on there today for me so that I have a softer surface. So either there or have an extra blanket for underneath your tush. Then you're going to need a blanket that goes underneath your head. And today we're going to use a strap and a block. So go ahead and grab your strap and your block. And we're going to begin today coming down onto the ground. The ground is actually a really great place to help your posture and to help get that posture and that alignment. So it's actually a great way to correct. That's the word I was looking for. It's a great way to correct some posture, and it's very nice to do this. It's not so challenging. We're going to put our back on the ground and not put anything behind it. So using gravity to help do a little postural correction there. Get your chair here. If you didn't want to use a chair at the beginning of the practice, you could put your legs up the wall or come into a fully extended position. And then when you are coming down, always with total awareness of the front of your spine, not pressing it into itself, but rather having a nice opening in the spine, raising our awareness because we are going to practice for our bones. So really getting that to start. Take your hand, reach your hand away, and then you bring yourself onto the ground, and then you'll need to get yourself situated. So come closer to the chair, let your legs go on the chair. Be really close to the chair so the back of the knees actually touches the chair. And then when you get there, See how that feels for your body here. Now, around the 5'5" height area, or maybe a couple of inches taller than that would be probably really ideal for the legs there. And then of course, even taller. Sometimes for anyone shorter than that, it could be a little bit of a reach, and you may feel that in your body. So you may want to put something underneath your legs here, or underneath your pelvis rather. And I'll show you what I mean. You would take your blanket and you would fold your blanket in over, and then lift your pelvis up and put your pelvis on top of the blanket and see how that feels. I may leave it there today actually, and that's partly because I'm okay to not have anything underneath my head. And for some of you, that may be uncomfortable. So find what's appropriate for you. You want to have your shoulder blades slide towards your spine. So lift your rib cage away from the ground, slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine, and then place the shoulder blades back down onto the ground and feel what you feel and notice there. Then we're going to reach for our block and place your block on your belly. The block's on the belly, or something as a reference point that you're pushing towards to get to rise and fall. If you'd like, you can bring your arms out to the side, either all the way straight or bent elbows. Nice long neck. Really deep breaths here. Closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to your breath. Let's take the lower jaw, wiggle it back and forth, side to side. And then open and close the mouth really big. Let your mouth be closed. Back teeth are separated. And the eyes are closed. Start to notice your body here. So bring your awareness to your left foot, your left ankle, your left lower leg, the left knee, the left upper leg, the left hip, and then to your entire left leg. Let the leg be heavy. Bring your awareness to your right foot, to the sole of the foot, the right ankle, the right calf, right knee, right upper leg, right hip, and the entire right leg. Let your legs relax in the sockets. Bring your awareness to your pelvis. Feel your pelvis, the support of your pelvis. Then allow your pelvis to relax. Bring your awareness to your lower back. Bring your awareness to your middle back. Breathe back to your middle back. Bring awareness to your upper back. Bring awareness to your left hand, left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm,
and left shoulder. Your entire left arm, let it be heavy. Bring your awareness to your right palm, your right wrist, your right lower arm, right elbow, right upper arm, right shoulder, and your entire right arm, as if you could see it. Let your left arm be heavy, your right arm be heavy. And bring your awareness to your neck, to the front, the back, and the sides. Let your neck be nice and long. Bring your awareness to your head, to your jaw. Let your jaw be soft. See if you could bring in a little more relaxation. Your cheeks. Let the cheeks gently move with gravity towards the ground. Relax your facial muscles. Your eyeballs. Let your eyeballs be heavy. Feel the center of your head. Feel the heaviness of your head and let your head go. Bring your awareness to your entire body. Let your body be heavy. And notice if there's any place you're holding, any tension. See if you can relax every part of yourself. Keep your back teeth separated. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. Follow the breath into your heart. Bring your awareness to your belly. Bring the breath deeper in all the way down to the belly. Start to notice the block or whatever you have on your belly rising and falling with breath. Feel the block rise. Feel your belly rise. Start to breathe in and back to your low back. Feel your low back press to the ground and feel the block rise at the same time. And then breathe back to the ground, pressing your back into the ground. Let your sides get wide and your belly rise, and feel the block rising as you breathe deeply into the lower part of your torso. Finishing this last breath here, take 3 more breaths, really big, warming up your core, warming up your support, your torso support muscles. When you finish your last breath, go ahead and let the breath go. Bringing your awareness to your fingers, to your toes. Start to bring some movement into your body. And then notice your body. Notice how you're feeling. If you'd like to take your arms overhead, if an overhead stretch seems like it would be a good thing and your shoulders are okay doing that, try that. Move your body. Try to lengthen your waist one side at a time, pushing the. You could reach one hand long, stretch and reach the other hand long. So stretching from the pelvis all the way up to the tips of the fingers, letting the legs just hang out in your pelvis, letting the torso stretch without the legs being a part of it. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the block off to the side, walking your feet back. If you have a blanket underneath your body, lift up and take that off and out to the side. And if it was the one from your head, bring it back underneath your head. Then bring your knees into your chest, and then bring the legs up in the sky, bring the arms in the sky. Let everything settle here in your body. Noticing how you feel, noticing what your awareness is. The body sensing that we just did, bringing our awareness to our body like that, can actually have a really healing effect. It can actually stimulate parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we heal. It can also help to turn down the pain signals of chronic pain if you have pain in your body, and focus on specific areas and not focus on the place of pain. So doing body sensing can be really amazing for pain management and other things that I mentioned. So since we're here, let's take advantage of this. We used breath to warm up the part of our body that really helps to stabilize our body, the whole core section, the midsection. So let's do a nice core movement here. Having the knees either be right above the pelvis or a little bit closer to the chest. Closer to the chest, a little easier because it posteriorly tilts the pelvis, presses the low back into the ground. So for some of you, that may be the appropriate place to be. For others, being right above your pelvis may be okay. We're going to take the arms up towards the sky and then push the spine where the rib cage is into the ground. So you feel your back rib cage really pushing into the ground a lot. You may even feel your pelvis tilting backwards when you do this. Then you're going to activate your core, contracting your core like you're squeezing a big juicy orange in your tummy or zippering up your midsection. You're going to push your low back into the ground, push the rib cage into the ground. The hands are reaching up towards the ground. And then you're going to float one leg off and then the other. And when you do that, you have to stabilize your pelvis. So really push the low back into the ground, push the rib cage into the ground. And then the breath, you sip the breath in up towards the heart. Don't let the breath come down into the belly. You don't want the diaphragm to push down and to lose the action that's happening here. So sip the breaths in, activate the core, press the low back into the ground, press the rib cage into the ground. Feel that support. And then release, let your legs go back down slowly so you feel how all that work comes out of your body. So if you go in slowly to this and you come out slow, that's a little bit more advanced. So if you have a stronger practice, a stronger core, try that. And then for those of you with low back issues, the ability of your core to stabilize your pelvis is a big part of back health. And so notice what happens to your pelvis when you lift your limbs up, because you have to turn on this to support the pelvis and not let the pelvis rock. And that also supports the lower back. So pay attention to that here. Take your hands up towards the sky. We're going to begin by pushing the rib cage into the ground, then activating the core, pressing the low back strongly into the ground, the top edge of the pelvis into the ground, and then allow the legs to float up away from the chair. Real nice deep support here. Contract your core, push your low back to the floor, push your rib cage to the floor. And sip the breath up towards your heart. So you're not doing a really deep breath here. You don't want to lose the integrity of what's taking place in the lower abdominal area. Really flatten the low back, flatten the top pelvis. Press the ribs into the floor. And then go ahead and release, release, release. Let that softly and slowly come out of your body. Feel what's happening. We're going to do one more of those. Let your hands come up. Take a couple of breaths to soften. Take a breath all the way down into the belly. Feel the low back pressing into the ground, the belly going up towards the sky, and the sides expanding. So you use the breath to help release tension in the lower part of the body or bring in some relief. And then let's prepare. Spine is pressing towards the ground where the ribs are attached. Then press the low back towards the ground. Then allow the feet to just float up off the chair. Knees are right above the pelvis. Contract the core. Push the low back towards the ground. Top edge of the pelvis towards the ground. Supporting the lifting of the legs away from the chair with the core, stabilizing the pelvis. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead slowly, slowly. Release, release, release. Draw the knees into the chest. We're going to turn onto our side. Take your hand on the ground. Press your hand really strongly into the ground. Press your elbow, press your hand. Let's use the leg here like a piston. It's going to help bring you up. So this will be a little bit here helping, but make most of the action come from your hand. Lead with your shoulder, not your head. Take an inhale. Push your hand like crazy. Move your leg away and then bring yourself up. Let's prepare our area for the practice. So we're going to move the chair off for now. Moving the chair off to the side. So let's prepare. We're going to do some work here on the ground first. So take your blanket, bring your blanket up to the top of the mat, have your block and your strap handy. Let's bring ourselves all the way down onto the ground. Awareness of the front of the spine stays nice and open. Bring yourself down. Take your blanket behind your head, and then let's come into a fully extended position, accommodating your body in whatever way you need. So the arms are overhead, but for those with shoulder issues, maybe out to the side is all you could do, or you need to bend your elbow and not be so high. So the overhead position modified according to your shoulders. Doing what you can and not thinking about what you can't. Finding your range of motion, because use it or lose it. And the more you move, the more you'll maintain what you have or gain more. So don't let things get sticky and stuck. Don't let the shoulder become a frozen shoulder. Don't let things get hard and calcified. Keep them moving. So point your toes, fingers are overhead, take an inhale. As you exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hold on to the right knee, keep the left leg long. Draw the right knee in deeply, feel the stretch wherever you do. On your inhale, hold on to the right leg with the right hand. Take the right leg out to the side. Take the left hand out to the left. On the next exhale, you're going to guide the right knee over towards the left. Pay attention if you have a posterior hip replacement here, and try not to lift the right tushy off the ground going into the lower back. We're trying to stretch the tissue on the side of the hip joint here and in the glute area. Then bring yourself back to center. Hold on underneath your legs. Exhale, and then inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. One more. Inhale to unbend, exhale. As you exhale, you lower. You could point your foot. You could hold on to your leg. You could have it bent, whatever you need to do, doing whatever's appropriate for you. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, slowly draw the left knee in and notice how it moves, how it tracks, how the knee and the hip work, how the back feels when you do that. Draw your knee in deeply, feel the stretch, maybe where the hips are on either side. And then we hold on to the left leg with the left arm. We inhale to open the left leg high and out to the side, stretching the adductors, the inner thighs. Take the right arm off to the side. So feel that adductor stretch up high here. And then we're going to exhale, drawing the leg over towards the right. Switch hands. Take the right hand to gently guide the left leg over towards the right. Feel what happens here. So for posterior hip capsule, don't put too much pressure there. This is going to stretch the side of the hip joint, the posterior hip. It's also going to stretch the tissue along the side of the leg, which is good for knee health, hip health. And then you're going to exhale, bring your leg back to center. Inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Try to go slow, unbend your knee joint. Feel the stretching of the muscle that does that, the hamstring. Come to a straight leg, pointing your foot, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen as you exhale to lower your leg down. Slower you go, the harder it is, the more advanced it is. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, draw the right knee in. Slower is harder. Inhale, open to the side. It's harder physically and it's harder mentally for some of you. Let's exhale, draw your knee across your body. So pay attention to the speed of the brain. You're going to inhale to unbend, exhale to bend. Inhale, unbend, exhale to bend. Last one, unbend. Point, lengthen, lengthen that leg out of the socket. Feel length in that leg. Arms are overhead. Inhale. Exhale, slowly draw the left leg in. Feel the back, feel the pelvis. Inhale to open the left leg to the left. Exhale to draw that leg across the body. Feel all the places you feel stretching. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale to unbend. Exhale. Either holding on or not. Inhale to unbend. Point your foot as you exhale to lower. One more each side, slow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Point your foot, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Inhale, arms are overhead. Exhale, slowly draw the knee in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Point, point, point. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Bend your knees. It's a nice little warm-up series. Does a lot with the knees. Bring the knees in. It's asymmetrical, doing one at a time, so it can help to disrupt some holding patterns. Bring your knees in. Let's take your hands on top of your knees. Push your legs away from you. Push them apart. Draw them towards you, draw them together. Push them away, apart, towards you, together. Turn this into a circle. Go in a circular pattern, warming up your knee joint. Warming up the hip joint, the pelvis, and the low back. Notice the rocking of the pelvis. Let's switch. Take your knees together, bring them towards you, apart, away from you, together. Towards, apart, away from you, together. And turn that into a smooth circle as you roll your legs around in the socket. Holding on top of your knees, your hands are doing the work. Feel your pelvis rocking, feel your low back moving towards the ground, feel the muscles stretch. And then bring yourself back to center, put your feet onto the ground. So let's go into the first set of 3. We're going to do leg stretching, preparing our legs for the practice. Let's take a strap, grab the strap, and bring your right foot in. Bring the strap onto the arch. Take your hands around the strap, wrap your hands around the strap, pull the leg down towards the ground, and lift the left leg off, lengthen the left leg, reach the left leg long. Pull the right leg down towards the ground, push the right leg away from you with the muscles, and let's begin. Draw the right leg towards the wall behind you. Keep the knee straight. If you want to strengthen your bones, don't bend the knee joint. You're going to pull on your pelvis here with this one. Pulling the leg towards the wall behind you, pushing the leg away from you with your muscles, pulling the leg down into the hip joint. Feel a lot of tension here. Create as much tension as you can comfortably to create as much bone building stimulation as you can comfortably. Toes are pointing towards the back wall. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend both knees. Draw the other knee in. Put the strap on the arch. Straps around the arch. Take your hands around the strap. Draw the leg down, deeply rooted in the socket. Pick the right leg up and lengthen if you're going to lengthen. If you want to keep it straight, if bent knee, you can. Straighten that leg if it's possible. Pull the leg down, keep the leg straight. Push the leg away from you with the muscles, and then let's guide the leg towards the wall behind you. If you push the right leg into the ground, you get a little bit more maybe. Pulling the leg down, pulling it back, and pushing it away from you. Create as much tension as you can comfortably. One more breath. And then let's go ahead and bring yourself out. Take the strap off. That's Supta Pada Gustasana number 1, pulling on the back of the pelvis with the hamstring muscle group. Let's go into Supta Pada Gustasana number 2, big hand to toe pose. Number 2, pulling on the inside of the pelvis with the adductor muscles. So you're going to draw your right knee in, take the strap on your leg, straighten the left leg if that's something you'd like to do. Take your strap in your right hand and draw your hand down the strap. Push your left leg into the ground or the foot if your knee is bent. And then you're going to lengthen out to the side, keeping the leg high the whole time. Don't let the leg go forward. Keep it to the side. Lengthen as far as you can. Let your elbow help you here. Push your left leg into the ground. Keep your left pelvis rooted down, left buttock on the ground. Right leg is moving towards the wall behind you and long. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. Coming back up, either bend the leg or bring it back up straight. Bend the knees, take the strap off. Always bending the knees in between because it's a little bit safer for your back. And then bend the left leg in, put the strap on the left leg. Take the right leg nice and long if you're going to. Hold on to the strap in the left hand, elbow out towards the side. And then let's begin inhaling to lengthen into the stretch. Keep the leg nice and high up towards the wall behind you. Keep the right side rooted down into the ground. And feel that stretch on the inner thigh. Take one more breath. And then draw that leg back up. Take both knees and bend them. Take the strap off. Let's go into the third leg stretch with the strap. This time you bring both legs up. You put the strap around both arches of the legs. Keep the feet about hip distance, so don't let them touch. Don't let them collapse into each other. You can wrap your hands around the strap. Keep your legs straight. Straight legs is going to pull on the pelvis. And then you're going to draw your legs back, doing both legs at the same time, pulling on the pelvis at the back. Push your belly towards your spine, push your sacrum into the ground, drawing the legs back, feel that tension, push into the pinky toe edge of the strap. Don't let your feet collapse, don't let them touch. Draw the legs back with straight legs to whatever's appropriate for you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Take your legs really wide and draw the legs towards your body. A little release for the low back. This is a supported happy baby posture. Legs are wide. Arches is where the strap is. You pull your legs down so your knees come closer to your armpits and your spine is on the ground. Your spine is nice and long. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and bring yourself out of that. Take the strap off to the side. So this next set of 3 will be 2 back bends and a twist, because it's nice to unwind the spine with a twist after you've done back bends. So the first back bend we're going to do is bridge. And we're going to take let's take the strap. Let's take the strap and put the strap around our legs today. We'll do that version. So you can get a little higher with this version. You also might find more stretch of the quadriceps, the tendons of the quadriceps that go over the kneecap. So notice if that happens for you. It happens for me sometimes because you could get a little bit higher and lift your pelvis and unbend this hip joint, which is going to stretch the hip flexors a little bit more. So take your strap, put it into a loop, and then you're going to draw your knees in and put the loop around the top part of your thighs. So put your feet through it, bring the strap to the top part of the thighs so that when you push your legs apart, you actually have a little space. Sometimes I like to measure it by the distance of my fist, putting my fist there so that I know that it's enough and not too much. And then when you push out on the strap strongly, you'll feel the whole lateral chain of the body. And this is that posterior hip. This is an important part of our body to focus on if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, or really just want to keep yourself nice and healthy as you're aging. So we're going to take the blanket away, lift your head up, lengthen your neck. Place the center of your head, long neck. And then you're going to slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine, and maybe you need to reposition your head after doing that. Walk your feet as close as you can get them to the body. Now you're not going to look side to side here. So you're going to go up, commit, close your eyes, and do not look side to side. Toes are pointing forward, feet are the distance of your strap, about hip distance. You're going to begin by tilting your pelvis backwards so your low back touches the ground. Push out on your strap, close your eyes. And then let's begin to peel the spine up one bone at a time. Lift, lift, lift. Push your feet into the ground, push your arms into the ground. Lift, lift, lift. Maybe you could get your hip joint to not be bent anymore. See if you can lift that high, pushing out on the strap. Let the weight of your upper body go to the upper back. Don't let it go into your neck or your head. Deep breaths here. Feel the back of the vertebra pressing into itself, creating bone stimulation by pushing the bones into each other and strengthening all the muscles in the back of the body, which helps to support alignment, balance, and posture, important for bone health. Take one more breath. Now, when you come down, close your eyes, feel yourself placing your spine down, one vertebra at a time, lengthening your spine. You're going to lift your heels off the ground. Let's try to place the low back onto the ground before the pelvis. So posterior tilt of the pelvis, flexion in the lower lumbar. And then bring yourself all the way down. Let's roll onto our bellies for our next posture, which is locust. So roll onto your back and then onto your belly. The strap is still around your legs, and if it bothers you at all, you could take it off. Come up first into what's called Sphinx pose. Now, I want you to push into your strap so that your toenails touch the ground, and especially your pinky toenail. So really get that internal rotation in your hip joint here, pinky toenail into the ground. Then your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Now with lengthen yourself as you bring yourself down onto the ground. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Let the forehead touch the ground. Let the hands go alongside the body. Either hands alongside the body or clasp the hands if you like. And then pushing out in the strap, soles of the feet are pointing straight up towards the sky. Exhale. And then inhale to lift. Lift, lift, lift. Lift your legs away from the ground, lift your upper body away from the ground, push out in your strap, and then push your spine into itself in the back of the body. Trying to push the back of the vertebra into themselves. Breathe down to your belly, push out in your strap. Lengthen your arms, whether they're clasped or not. Lifting away from the ground. When you're ready, let's come down on the next exhale. Take your hands, fold your hands so that one goes on top of the other. Let your body rest here and wiggle yourself side to side. So let your pelvis go here. Feel like you're settling your vertebra and your pelvic bones in your body. So let it be that as you jiggle, you soften. So you let the bones go back to their home. Let the joints settle. Let the muscles relax. And breathe down to your belly. And then go ahead, grab your blanket, rolling onto your back. So it's two pretty strong back bends, one after the other. Let's keep the strap here. Of course, if you don't like the strap, you can take it off. It's nice because it fires up and turns on the lateral chain. And this is a part of our body that's very supportive for our joints, for our alignment, and a part of our body we don't utilize as often as we should. Let's take our block. We're going to go into a twist. It's a strengthening twist. Strengthening, there's going to be some forces here to the lower lumbar. So this back bending series does a lot of spinal work, a lot of spinal strengthening. And because we have the strap there, we actually have this added aspect of strengthening and of having an effect on the posterior hip capsule. So let's draw the knees in. Your strap is on your legs, and then you're going to take your block between your lower legs. And you may need to loosen your strap a little here, depending on where you are. So you want this nice structural supported position here. The blanket is behind your head. If you have some roundness in your upper spine, having a higher fold on your blanket will be a little bit more helpful here. So do what you need to do. And then the block is between the lower legs, and it's the middle distance of the block, not the skinny side of the block, and not the long side of the block. It's the longest part of the rectangle edge. Bringing your legs to the side, take your hands down alongside your body. So draw your knees in and then push your knees away. Close your eyes. Feel how the low back flattens to the ground when the knees are in, and the low back moves away from the ground when the knees go away. When you draw the knees in, the low back flattens, and when you push away, it moves away. So let's do this in the appropriate way for you. We're going to hold for 30 seconds. So let's all begin with our knees in a little. You feel the top edge of your pelvis touching the ground. Squeeze the block, push out on the strap, and then let's inhale to the side, coming into this. We're going to hover for 30 seconds here. So stay here. Now, for those of you that have a little bit of more strength in your lower torso and in your core, you could push your knees away from your body. Feel how that changes the workload and the need to hold. And then if you wanted, you could unbend your legs, letting your legs hover to the side. Long waist, pushing your legs away from you here. Long waist. Contract your core, support your lower lumbar spine. Take one more breath. And then draw the knees. Let's bring the knees back to the chest so that you take a break for a second. We're going to come on to other side. So let's prepare here. Draw the knees in, squeeze the block, and then let's begin. Inhale into this. Knees are high at first to see where you need to go. And then if you know you're going to be moving away, move away. And if you know you're going to unbend the legs, unbend the legs. Long waist. Support your low back. Contract your core. And then on your next exhale, bring yourself out. Take your block off to the side. Take your strap off of your legs. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Moving onward. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Bring yourself onto your side. We're going to push away from the ground, not leading with our head, leading with our hand, pushing away. Inhale, bring your knee in. Exhale, push your hand in your elbow, kick your knee away, and bring yourself up. Let's move on to our next 3 postures here. Little challenging. So we're going to do plank and then side plank to one direction, side plank to the other. We'll call that 3 because there's 30 and 30, even though, it's 2 of the same postures. These are pretty strong postures. So we're going to say that this is a series of 3 as well. So you're going to have your blanket on the floor. Now let me show you this before we do it because I want you to make some decisions here. So this is regular plank and this is side plank. Pretty strong, some of the strongest postures, I believe, in this practice. So that is the full version. The modification version would be this for the plank. And then for the side plank, you can come into this, which is like a half moon. Keep your leg on the ground. Make sure that this leg is lifted if you come into this version of this. Anything is good. Do what you can do. You're strengthening muscles, bones, your body. So whatever's appropriate for you. Let's take the hands so that the pointer fingers are forward. And then we're going to take one foot back and the other, bringing ourselves into the plank or coming into the modification if that's what you'd like. Push your feet back, lengthen your spine. Don't let your head hang. Push away from the ground with the feet and with the hands. And then let's go ahead and bring the
Knees down, bring yourself out. Come up for a second, take a break, shake your hands. Deciding what you'd like to do for the Vasisthasana side plank, you're either going to come into the side version. I'm going to do it facing you on both sides. So I'll first go into my right side. Being near a wall is a really nice thing as well. So let's prepare for this. It's 30 seconds if you can, and if you need to come down before, please do so. Hands are on the ground, take one foot back, and then take the other. Feet are together. Lift up and roll onto the edge of your foot, and bring your hand up towards the sky. Push away from the ground with the feet a lot. So really feel the feet helping you here. Push that pinky toe edge into the floor and lift your pelvis away from the ground. Now lengthen your spine, press your heart forward, press away from the ground, reach your hand up. And then go ahead and bring yourself out all the way. Absorb that, absorb whatever that was for you. Absorb that in all parts of your body. And then let's take your hands onto the ground. Take one foot back, take the other foot back, feet are together, lift your waist up and bring yourself onto the edges. Bring your hand in the air and really push away with the feet. You're on the pinky toe edge, push away and lift your pelvis up. Feel that support. Lengthen your spine. Push away from the ground. Reach your hands nice and long. Deep breaths. And then go ahead. Bring yourself out all the way completely. Let's take a break, either up here if you need to, or sit on your heels. The bigger postures use more muscles. Close your eyes. Notice what you notice. Heart rate accelerates. Take one more breath. So we're going to move now on to the chair. So from here, you're going to bring yourself up, giving your body time to calibrate, because part of fall prevention is being very aware of how you're moving. And we need to let our blood vessels calibrate to the different levels that we're putting ourselves in. So you're going to bring a foot forward, weakest one if you can, or the strongest one if you're still working on this. Coming from a loaded hip position, really deeply loaded like this, not very easy. But what I don't want you to do is anything like this. And if your hips lose their strength and your hips cannot lift you up, then we go into momentum and we bend forward to try to get more stuff to help us. And that's not safe for our spine. If we have osteoporosis, and even if we don't have osteoporosis, it's not safe. So let's bring your foot forward and let's walk it over to the edge and point it away from you. So sometimes coming like a little angle is very helpful. Take your back foot and bend your back foot. Take your hands onto your thighs. Let your body weight go back and then push yourself forward, up, and away. And bring yourself up. So we're going to take our props off to the side. So bending at the hip, keeping the back long. Spread your legs pretty wide here. Bend down, grab your props, take them off to the side. And then let's get our chair. So these next three postures are going to be done on the chair. And if you have socks on, it'd be nice to take them off. And if you do, you could actually turn this into a little bit of work yourself. Stand away from the chair. See if you could lift your leg up, put it across your body, and bend down with your hip joint to take your socks off. See if you could do that. Challenging yourself on a daily basis. Lifting your leg up, putting your leg across your body, bending at your hip joint. So bending at your hip joint, not at your spine. And then you bend yourself down with your hips to take your socks off. Or you could even practice doing this standing, with your leg up in the air, not bending your spine. So really whatever you can do safely, trying that, practicing that all the time, because every day that you do these things, you strengthen your body. And it adds up one day to, wow, I'm pretty strong and feel pretty confident. All right, let's come to sit on the chair. If you are 5'7" or 8" or taller, I think raising your body up with a blanket could be really nice and supportive. So you could fold a blanket to sit on. And then if you're 5'7", 6, 5, maybe even 4, this is like ideal height. For those of you that are shorter, you might need a blanket underneath your feet. And if you do, it would be that front leg. All right, so we're gonna take the chair and put the chair a little bit at an angle so that you can really support this front leg, the whole front leg, and get the back leg to go back. So the back leg can be nice and straight. And your support is here on the chair. Don't be here. Don't let your leg be off. That's a lot harder to do this. You want it to be fully supported. That front leg is on the chair somewhere. So sometimes at an angle, a little bit of an angle. And then the back foot nice and long. Back leg is very active. Take your toes, point your toes away from you, and these toes are in. Take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Hands reach down, and then let's inhale into the warrior two. Keep your neck nice and long. Look over the front fingertips. Push the back pinky toe edge of the foot into the ground. Try to keep your body growing out of your pelvis. Push your hands back. Long neck. Breathe down towards your torso. Nice long. Now push that front foot in towards the ground. If you wanted to push the front foot in and lift yourself away from the chair a little bit so that you're actually not resting on the chair, you could try that. A little harder in this deeper knee flexion and hip flexion to rise. Make sure the back foot is nice and active. Take one more breath and then bring yourself down and out. So we do not need to just think that a chair means that it's super easy and then I'm not doing any work. You do a lot of work and you can get really nice deep joint work here, a lot of stretching. So having a chair, I find, gives me a lot of stretching in my body and strength. And of course, we're lower down. So we're in the hip and the knee lower than most of us go when we're standing to this posture or entering from standing. Toes are pointing slightly inward. That toe points forward. You're supported by the chair. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. And then you're going to inhale, reach your arms long, and then arrange yourself here. Your body's not forward. Bring it right on top of your torso. Lower your shoulders, lengthen your neck. Push your hands back. Reach your hands long. Push your feet into the floor. Push the back pinky toe edge into the floor. Deep press down to your pelvis. If you want to try to come forward and lift off a little so that you're not even resting on the chair anymore, long neck, lifted chest, lifted heart. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself down if you were lifting up. Take a break for a second. Let's go to the other side. We're going to do side angle here on the chair. So getting your legs arranged again so that the toes are pointing forward. The chair is there to support you in whatever way you need it to be. And very active back foot. Bring the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Push the hands down and then let the arms come up. This is starting from warrior two. Reach long, bring your hand onto your thigh and your other hand straight up and towards the sky. This is side angle. Don't let your feet just hang out. Push them into the floor, make them active, lift your arches away from the ground. If you want to put your arm onto the inside of your leg, reach your torso long, make sure your bend is at your hip joint. Deep breaths down to your belly. Heart is lifting forward. You could reach your arm up and over. That whole length of that side of your body from the pinky toe edge to the tip of your fingers is long. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up and all the way out. Let's go to the other side. Arranging yourself here. Back toes are pointing in. Front foot points forward. So really getting a stretch on the ankle joint there. Pushing that front leg in, feeling that posterior line fire up the back of the body. Take your shoulders forward, up, back, down. Fingertips are reaching down, and then inhale to let your hands come up. Reach from here, long. Bring your hand onto your thigh, and then bring yourself up. You're bending at the waist, so your spine is really long here. Keep pushing your hand back. Make sure you're not rounding in the upper spine. Active arches. And then if you want to bring your hand onto the inside, that brings that spiral force into the spine. So spinal vertebra stimulation here, bone stimulation here from that. And then if you want to lengthen that whole side, really reach. Keep that leg straight, that back leg straight. No collapsing of your torso, so lift and lengthen. And breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself up, bring yourself out. So that was a warrior two in the side angle. Let's do a seated twist here. So you're going to bring the chair, you're going to sit on the side of the chair. So if you have arms on your chair, your legs may be here. And if you have no arms, your legs could be here. Take your hand behind the back of the chair. We're going to create rotational force in the spine. Rotation starts here and is up here. So keep your knees together to support your lumbar spine. Get nice and tall here. Take an inhale. On the exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs go towards the back. Push down on the chair. Contract your core. Push your belly towards your spine. Feel your sits bones pressing into the chair. And then rotate from the lower ribs on up. Push your heart forward. A back bend and length in your spine is important. The front of your spine is open, and the rotation, feel that the shoulder blade pressing towards the spine. Feel the shoulder blades pressing and pushing your heart forward. Feel both buttocks into the chair. Feel the appropriate tension in your body from this rotation, using your hands to help with a little bit more force and the muscles of your torso. Don't let it be all hands. Take one more breath. We're going to go to the other side. So when you come into the rotation, you want to make sure you have this going on, this lifted action, and then this rotational force. Bring yourself to the other side. Take your hand onto the chair. You're going to have your knees together. The knees are facing forward. Nice tall spine. Take an exhale. Then inhale. Lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Take your hands on the chair if that's appropriate for you. Push down. Feel the sits bones in the chair. Contract your core to hug and protect the lumbar spine. Lift your heart. Slide that shoulder blade closer to the spine and then forward, opening up the front of your chest. Chin parallel to the ground. Take one more breath. And then we're going to slowly, slowly bring ourselves all the way back. Sit all the way back in the chair for a second. Let's go into the next set. Bringing yourself forward, bring your feet facing forward, bring your body weight forward, bring your hands onto your thighs, long spine, push your heels into the floor, push the hands into the legs, slowly, 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 unloading your joints to come all the way to standing. Let's keep the chair here. So we're going to use our chair for this next three here. Let's come nice wide position here. We're going to do a triangle posture here. Take your feet forward, pick the foot up, turn the heel So are the toes underneath the chair and the back heel moves away from you. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Hands reach down. You're going to inhale and then bending your hip. Make sure it's your hip right here. Make sure it's right here that you reach. And when you can't go any farther, put your hand on the chair. Put your other hand up in the sky. This is triangle. Push away from the chair to arrange your skeleton. Tailbone points down to that back inner heel. Spine is long, really bending at the hip. Lengthen your torso and rotate, slight rotation. For those of you that feel strong and they want to come down, you can put the back of the hand on the leg to get that rotation. Make sure your bend is at your hip and your spine is nice and long. Deep breaths. Take one more breath and then bring yourself up. We're going to take the chair to the other side. Keep your feet nice and wide. Toes lift up underneath the chair, back heel away. Take the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Reach the hands down. Inhale to reach the hands up. And then lengthen, bending at the hip. Bring yourself down onto the chair. Hand up towards the sky. Push away to get that length in your spine and to arrange your pelvis. Tailbone is pointing down towards that back inner edge of the heel. Push away to get tall. And if you'd like to come down onto the leg, use the back of the hand to push that rotation. Push your feet into the ground. Lengthen your spine. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then push your feet into the ground. Bring yourself up. Nice, strong posture. Nice, strong body. Let's take your chair. Turn your chair back. Face your chair maybe because you need it to help you here. So the feet are touching. The legs are touching. We're going to come into chair posture. We're going to bend at the hip. So you start by pushing your tushy back. Look down. You should see your entire foot. You see your entire foot. Now push your tushy. Start to bend your hip joint. And your hands are in your chair. And then lift one hand up. Lift the other hand up. Stay here. Pushing your weight into your heels. And then contract your core to protect the lumbar spine. Take one more breath. Bring your hands together. Bring yourself all the way up and out. Bring yourself forward. Shake your legs. We'll come into the tree, which can be a challenge to try a balancing posture after doing some strengthening postures. So be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself always, except where you are today at this moment. Toes are pointing forward. Hands on the waist, elbows back can help with the shoulder blade supporting posture. Push your body weight onto one foot. Tippy toes. Knee out to the side, foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Lift your chest, push away from the ground. Choose something to stare at, to focus on. Smile. Bringing the knee forward. Bringing yourself the foot back down. Push your body weight onto the other foot. Come onto the bent knee, tippy toes, and then onto the lower leg. Nice tall body, push away from the ground. You could use your elbows to push back towards each other, or the hands could be in any position that's appropriate. Stare at something that doesn't move. Smile. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Shake your body. Shake, shake, shake everything. Shake, shake, shake. This is what animals do after they're stressed. And if there was any stress, well, there was stress. We use stress as our friends when we practice these strong postures for bone stimulation. We use stress as our friend. We appropriately pull on the bones in a 30-second hold, working on refining the alignment during the whole time, creating bone building stimulation that we decided to do in an appropriate manner so our bones will get stronger for us. Something we have to do all day, every day to have stronger bones. So let's go down onto the ground for the final posture. It'll be all by itself, Shavasana. Using the chair if you'd like, it's really nice for low back health. Can really help to settle the back if anything was done during the practice. So bringing yourself down onto the ground. Doing anything you need in your body for final. If you need anything, or let your legs rest wherever they are. Let your body rest wherever it is. Let go, let whatever. So let go, let whatever take over. For those of you that God is what takes over for you, let go, let God. For those of you that it's nature, let go, let nature. Let go, let peace, let go, let love, let go, let calm, let go. Time to practice human being versus human doing. And after all of that, it's your time to relax.
So gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Rolling onto your side. Pushing yourself up away from the ground. We're going to close the practice. Let the dust settle. Let everything integrate. Seal the intention and the self-care that we just gave ourselves in this practice. Realize that that's what we did. We showed up for ourselves. And as women, and men if you're out there, the majority of ailments happen to 80% of the time to females. Such a lack of self-care. And this was such an act of self-care. We cannot take care of others until we take care of ourselves. And especially if we've had a life of taking care of others, we need more self-care. So bring your hands together, touch your heart with your hands, and press your heart towards your hands. We're going to vibrate with a vibrational sound to let everything settle, to let everything that we just did settle and find a home. Take a big exhale. Inhale. In gratitude, whatever words you choose to say thank you, and it can be thank you, thank you. This was 16 postures, including Shavasana, which is considered to be probably one of the most valuable because the breakdown of almost everything that happens, if not everything, is stress. And that is the posture to focus, to yield, to let go, let God, let go, let love, let go, let peace, whatever you want to call it. That right there is that integration. Human being versus human doing. Total act of self-care. So treat it like that. The mind starts to wander. What am I doing after this? Where am I going? Let's stop that. Really, really respect this for what it is, this Shavasana. And the other 15 postures, some challenging, maybe most challenging, lots of bone stimulation. That's amazing that you did that for yourself. So pat on the back. All right, so let's hear from you all. Did it feel like 16? 16 is on the top end of what I ever teach in an hour and 15-minute practice. Good. Yeah, the chair is good. You can get some deep joint stretching there and loading in a way that we're not used to doing. Donna, good. Yes. Donna, it's a challenge for me. Maybe it's always going to be. Maybe at one point in my life it wasn't, but I don't know if I'm ever going to work that hard for it to not be. So it's probably always going to be a challenge. And I know you're really strong, so that's awesome. It went fast. It did, right? It went fast. Guess what? You weren't in your head, right? Think about that. There was so much. We were so somatically grounded. We began that way. We stayed that way. And look what happens when we're in our body. Time just flies by. Yeah, Susan, I know. It's pretty nice. Okay, good. So you like that also with the locust posture? Yeah, I think that what that does for me when I use the strap is it helps to disperse wherever the tension is in my body, and it brings on more support to the party. And that's really good for staying safe. Great, Mona. Exactly. Totally, Mona. Yes, we could be challenged. We can always be challenged using stress as our friend to strengthen our bones. Carol, I feel like I don't see you or I haven't seen you. Yeah, well, you're so strong, Carol. So hopefully you notice you're not losing it because you still use it a lot, Carol. So that's good. It felt like 16. Yeah, it did, right? But I feel good. Good. Hey, I'll take sleeping. Here's what they say. Whenever you're meditating and you sleep, meditation is a focused mind. So meditation is something you do all the time. Staring at butterflies, being in your garden,
looking into your cat's face and feeling like complete and utter love. Like meditation is this focused mind where you go to a place of oneness with whatever it is you're doing. So I'll take falling asleep. So they say that if you fall asleep, it's because your body needed sleep whenever you're practicing. Lynn, hi. Yeah, I know you do that. Like 18, Stevie. Well, I think it was. We did 3 legs. We did the back bends with the twist. We did the 3 planks. We did the 3 chair postures. We did the 3 standings. That's 5 times 3 is 15, and then the Shavasana. So that's why I think, unless I missed some. All right. I'm off taking my little nephew to lunch. He's so anxious and waiting for me. So let me go get him and take him to lunch. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I feel good. You feel good. Gratitude to all of you for being here. Thank you. And I'll see you later. Have a great day.